What's up, everybody? Welcome in on this Tuesday to the Rebel Report. My name is Michael Borky. Glad that you are with me. A couple things that we got to get to tonight. And, of course, whatever else comes up in the comments section. Number one, Ole Miss got as big of a midweek win as you can get, really. I mean, most of these Tuesday games are just, pitch a lot of guys, get through it, have some momentum into the weekend, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not pandering when I say this. It's legitimate. Southern Miss is a good, very good, good to very good baseball team. They're ranked for a reason and a good one. They have earned that ranking. They beat Mississippi State, shut Mississippi State out just last week in the midweek. And that's it's just one game, right? You play in the SEC. You don't exactly need resume help when you play the schedule that you do in conference. But having an extra win like that against a team that's RPI is going to be really good it's a good thing, especially when you hit the baseball the way Ole Miss did tonight. So a good midweek win, a very good midweek win. Southern Miss is a good team. They're tough. They're good. They're well coached. They're going to battle for the top of the Sun Belt with Troy, it seems, who, by the way, got a win at Mississippi State tonight. But that's a good team. And Ole Miss got a good win. Also, there was some injury news on the football front as well. So we'll talk about that and then read your comments on this edition of the show. Again, my name is Michael Borky. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Rebel Report. And if you like what you hear, leave a rating and a review. And this edition of the show is presented by, every edition of the show is presented by the Gregory Law Firm. DJ Gregory of the Gregory Law Firm has got you covered at 662-397-9799. If you have been personally injured, don't waste another second. Wake up tomorrow, call DJ Gregory of the Gregory Law Firm. He's in Fulton, but he can take care of you anywhere at 662-397-9799. Also, if you are a small business and you need some legal advice, or you want to start a small business and you don't really know how to cross your legal T's and dot your legal I's, DJ Gregory can help you out there as well. So, Ole Miss gets the win over Southern Miss. It wasn't perfect. They give up 8 runs, and Ole Miss also had 4 errors that led directly to Southern Miss runs. Luke Hill's error at second was led directly to a run, if I remember correctly. We were doing the radio show at the time. And also in right, there was an error that led to a Southern Miss run there as well. It's a team that's been playing better defense lately. They did not do so tonight, but they do score 15 runs, and everybody that grabbed a bat for Ole Miss hit the ball. Federico is an everyday player, at least it looks like and feels like, and he shows you why. Went 1 for 4 today, so his batting average, unbelievable how his batting average just plummeted after his horrible night from over 600 to 530. But his at-bats, his plate discipline is outstanding. I mean, even his outs are still like good quality at-bats. Knock on wood, I did not do the announcer's jinx today on the radio show. He has not struck out yet. Didn't strike out today. Had his 1 hit, but also walked a couple of times. His outs are loud. And, it's just – I am so impressed with the young hitter for Ole Miss. Federico, I would lead him off until that day comes where he possibly hits a freshman wall. He may not. You see it all the time, and that's probably going to come. Scouting reports are going to get out on him. He's going to have to adjust. SEC pitching is really, really good. But, man, I am so impressed with Federico and his plate approach. Luke Hill had a hit. He was 1 for 3. Humphrey had a hit. Mormon had 2. Sanford had 2. Unimark had 1. Furness had 1. Randall had 1. Foley had a big home run and 4 RBI on the day. And even Pano had a home run tonight for Ole Miss. So 12 hits for Rebel hitters, and they got walked a bunch as well. They got walked 11 times and were hit by 5 pitches. So Southern Miss kind of imploding, I think was the word that one of you used in the Edward used it in the chat, imploding on the mound. That is an uncharacteristically erratic night for Southern Miss pitchers, but Ole Miss also, again, had 12 hits, and everybody in the lineup hit the baseball tonight. I know it's a midweek. I know Southern Miss threw a lot of guys, but it's still, again, a Southern Miss team that blanked Mississippi State last week. They're coming off of a series win over Louisiana Tech, and I mean they have looked so far this season really, really good. Has Southern Miss, and I mean Ock was their closer on Friday night last week, and Ole Miss scores 2 runs on him, and he only gets 2 people out, walk 3 guys. I mean, so um, not Southern Miss's best night for sure, but I do think Ole Miss's offensive output tonight was much better than they looked, frankly, over the last 4 games. You know, after they get that Sunday win over in Texas, I think the bats were underwhelming, even with the run totals over the weekend. Today was a much better day for Ole Miss at the plate, both with patience. For the most part, you know, it wasn't perfect, but um, I still would make a couple more adjustments in the lineup personally, but still, um, productive day at the plate for Ole Miss. McCausland, I was hoping to see more out of him. He gave up 6 hits and 3 1/3, um, in 4 runs as well. 3 of them earned. Did strike out 4. Gunnar Dennis struggled some for Ole Miss tonight, no doubt. But starting with Braden Jones, I mean, that spot that he was thrown into to come away from that unscathed was big time marbles, big time marble spot. And we were picking up Hibachi when that happened. So I've got, oh, I don't know if I should admit this. I've got my phone propped up with the game going on that I'm trying to pay attention to when that happened. But that's a big boy spot right there for Ole Miss. And after that, Hooks, you know, gave up a hit and a run, but I really, really like what they've got with him. And then Spencer closed the door, striking out 1, not allowing a base runner in that final inning for Ole Miss. So wasn't a perfect night on the mound, but the last 3, Jones, Hooks, and Spencer, I thought were quite impressive because, again, that's a good Southern Miss team. It's a good lineup. They have a lot of veterans in that order, as you saw tonight, for sure. So that is a good win for Ole Miss tonight, and going to the weekend. Although, you know, there's not too much that we can learn about Ole Miss and stuff like that this weekend based on the competition level. That's a great start to the week for this baseball team. The podcast is brought to you in part by Toyota of Brookhaven. They're on Exit 40 in Brookhaven. Exit 40 in Brookhaven, but also toyotaofbrookhaven.com is the website. If you tell them that I sent you, if you use the code Rebel Report online, or tell them that I sent you when you shop in person, $1,000 on me on any new in-stock Toyota. $1,000 on me. Use code Rebel Report or tell them that I sent you in person. They have interest rates as low as 1.99% on a new Tundra, but they've got a great selection of new and used vehicles on the lot there at Toyota of Brookhaven. Check out their website. You can see their online inventory, so you can look ahead before you make the trek to Brookhaven, because as I've learned in the market for buying vehicles, it is something that you should do and plan ahead. And even if it's somebody that's not quote unquote in your town, the best people that can sell you a car in Mississippi are right there at Toyota of Brookhaven. They have a service department as well, Monday through Friday, 7A, 7P, so very convenient. Toyota of Brookhaven, they will deliver for you, I promise. Check them out, Exit 40 in Brookhaven, or online at toyotaofbrookhaven.com. The injury news for Ole Miss, Trey Hall, the transfer running back, is possibly out for the season. I guess the person that initially broke it, there was a rumor going around for a little while, but I believe it was the Ole Miss Spirit that formally broke the news that he will possibly be out for the season. If you're wondering who's Trey Hall, he is the Gulf Coast transfer at running back, the speedster. And as you guys know, Ole Miss added a lot of running backs in the transfer portal, although they missed on their high-end targets. And so I don't know what this means for their prospects in the spring portal. I cannot imagine the spring portal is going to be filled with a lot of major talent at the position. If it goes like it did last year, it's going to be kind of scarce, but maybe a quality running back that can replace him will emerge. We'll just have to see. I do think that although this is unfortunate, especially for the player, and it's a hit for depth, um, it appears that maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I don't think that this injury was going to be that impactful for this season. And again, maybe I'm wrong, especially with how they handled the running back position last year. Who knows? But I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten about Logan Diggs, and in part because he didn't look like overly explosive in the bowl game. But that was still his first game action coming back from a significant knee injury. By the time training camp starts, he will have had, what is it, 19 months when training camp starts, removed from that knee injury at the end of the 2023 season in LSU's bowl game. If he can be back to form, Ole Miss already, without any of the portal additions or Mills Knight, the freshman coming in, have a guy that's an experienced SEC running back that you've seen do it at this level, that's proven at this level. And so if he has returned to form, especially having this much space between the injury and this season, Ole Miss should have an RB1 that is most definitely capable of producing in this offense. He's got good size and, again, a lot of experience, and he's proven that he can be a capable back at this level. I do think people have kind of forgotten about him a little bit, but the running back room is certainly interesting, no doubt, especially after the way they handled everything last year. But this injury, I don't know how much it impacts the prospects of this team and how many carries that this individual would have gotten. But of course, you hate it for him, and you do wonder if Ole Miss is going to be back looking for some depth in the running back room in the spring portal. We'll have to see. The podcast is brought to you in part by Advantage Business Systems. Check them out online at absms.com. For all of your Mississippi office technology needs, Advantage Business Systems has you covered. Tell them I sent you, get a complimentary office technology assessment. So you tell them what your business needs and what your budget is, and they will find a solution for you on me. It's Advantage Business Systems, absms.com. The podcast is also brought to you in part by Priority One Bank. They make you their priority every single day. Every day. Their online banking platform is outstanding. It's a one-stop shop. All you need is an internet connection. You can do whatever it is that you need to do with your money because Priority One Bank makes you their priority. To the comments we go. Bet Borky doesn't talk about the Ole Miss story of the day. I will not. Got madness in Athens, Georgia. Got madness in Athens. Georgia blows that huge lead, but beats Florida. That is a massive, massive win for Georgia. That's one that can, what was the bracketology today? Let's see. Thought I had it saved. I did. Okay. Georgia was listed among the first four out. Well, they were the sixth team out. So that win tonight likely dramatically changes their NCAA tournament prospects. That's a huge, huge win for Georgia. Ole Miss a heavy underdog tomorrow, understandably so. Curious to see if Matt Morrell plays at Auburn. Offense really took advantage of Southern Miss imploding on the mound. Yeah, they did. And that's an uncharacteristic day from a Christian Ostrander coached Southern Miss pitching staff for sure. But still so impressed with Federico and his approach. I said to somebody earlier that I think I said it on the show, that I think he's already Ole Miss's best hitter. His plate approach looks the best on the team already. Say 4 errors today ain't going to cut it, especially out in right field. No, and that was the thing that plagued them last year, the inability to make routine plays. And frankly, that kept Southern Miss in this game for a while, was Ole Miss's self-inflicted wounds. Exciting baseball is all we can ask for, and we are getting it so far. Hey, man, if I had told you that Ole Miss is going to be 7-1 and ranked at this point in the season, everybody would have been like, "Whoa, hell yeah!" Like, damn, that's awesome. So they're off to the exact kind of start they needed to have to get people in themselves, right? Don't you think that there's got to be some internal despite, I mean, there's a lot of new players, right? I mean, Luke Hill was an everyday guy last year. Unimark played, Furness played, Randall played, Smithwick played, although he didn't play tonight. But I mean, it's a team filled. The lineup tonight had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new faces on it, but still, like some internal confidence building within that program. I imagine anyway. At least it should be, because they're starting to play good baseball again. It's not perfect. They're flawed. The SEC is brutal, so we'll see. But they are doing what you were hoping that they would do with this early schedule, and that's all you can ask for. That same USM team shut out Mississippi State last week. Yeah, they did. Just dominated that lineup. Braden Jones, man, what an escape! Yeah, that was special. Again, this Southern Miss lineup's good, and they're veteran, they're experienced. It's a good team. I'm going to keep saying it, and people are going to get annoyed by it, but I am. Feels like last year's team and maybe the year before don't get out of that. Oh hell no, no shot. The first sign of adversity the last couple of years, and those teams folded. Man, this one hasn't yet. I mean, it was big too in the opening weekend. They get smoked on day 2, and they come back and play well in day 3. I mean, this is an oversimplification, but it did feel like if Ole Miss lost a game in a series, the next day they were coming out and getting smoked. So baseball team is definitely exceeding expectations so far, no doubt, no doubt. I didn't expect them to be sitting in this position right now. I simply did not. Big week in Ole Miss sports. Baseball gets a top 25 win tonight. Men's basketball with a free shot at number 1 tomorrow. Women's basketball with a free shot at South Carolina Thursday. How about that? And yeah, I mean, the freest of free shots for basketball tomorrow. Saturday is vital, though. I mean, that is such a vital basketball game on Saturday. And I hope that they get the crowd that they need to create an environment to help give them a little bit of a boost, especially if tomorrow goes the way it possibly could go. But they should play really loose tomorrow. They've got truly, there's nothing for them to lose tomorrow. Their net's probably going to go up after tomorrow, regardless of the outcome. So, weather today was fantastic, made for a great crowd at the game. Looked good on TV, especially the student section. Just what a day at Ole Miss. Yeah, you get a baseball win. It was a nice day at the ballpark. Missed the first 3 innings with work, but what a good time it was with high-quality baseball. Barring a major upset tomorrow, I think it's appropriate to be quiet on basketball until Saturday. Huge game at the Pavilion. Yeah, they need that one. I cannot believe, and now I guess it's early, but Mississippi State did not get off to a good start in Tuscaloosa. Down 10 now with just 10 minutes into the game. But yeah, Saturday's massive. They need to recapture some momentum. This team, as we say all the time, this team is flawed, but they're much better than they've played lately. They are absolutely better than they've played lately. Padula can be much better. He's got to protect the basketball better. The last 2 games, you've gotten some quality play out of no, not the last 2 games. The end of the South Carolina game, and then 2 of the last 3 games, you've gotten some quality play from Malik Dia. But whatever he was on Saturday, he's got to keep bringing that. We'll see about the Morrell injury, but they're better than this. They can produce better than this. Davis, I thought, has not taken a step back, but disappeared on Saturday when they could have used him. He can play better. Saturday's a great opportunity for them to recapture some momentum and kind of recapture the fan base as well. They're better than Oklahoma. And so just protect your home floor and beat them. End all this sliding that you're doing. Big win tonight. Yes, it is. Baseball is going nowhere but up as of now, which is kind of all we could ask for. It's going to be far from perfect, but a win like that paired with the 2 in Globe Life has some reason for optimism. For sure. And the SEC is brutal. It's absolutely brutal. But I think that, the realistic goal for this season was to just find their way back into the tournament, right? Get back into the postseason. And so far, they look like a team that can do that, especially when you've got starts like what you're getting from Hunter Elliott. If he can keep that up, then you're going to be in every single Friday night. The white are the best jerseys this year. That cream jersey looks outstanding. You are not wrong about that. Southern only had 3 innings with 0 runs, but they were putting runs across, but nothing compared to Ole Miss. Rebs had nearly 30 base runners, yeah. 5 home runs, all solo shots. You take that with their good lineup, 100%. Baseball has 2 weeks to stack wins and work out some kinks because when Arkansas comes, it's going to be a murderer's row the rest of the way. Yes, that schedule, man, is brutal. So Mississippi State, for example, every team that was picked behind them in the preseason ranking, they play. That obviously includes Ole Miss. Ole Miss did not get as lucky with their schedule, and it's going to take a second to load. I don't really like and don't think it's good podcast / radio to just read schedules. But just for the sake of looking at this, these school websites, by the way, are just absolute trash. They're horrible. They load and then they don't, and then they go away. And anyway, so Arkansas and Oxford, that's going to be just a gigantic series with massive crowds. They get Missouri, which should be at least 2 wins. That should help. Missouri is awful. Florida and Oxford, goodness. Kentucky and Lexington, Tennessee and Oxford, that'll be a pretty violent, in a good way, environment. South Carolina and Columbia, that's tough. Vanderbilt and Oxford, they're good. Oklahoma at Norman, not a tough place to play, but they're good. Mississippi State and Starkville, there's going to be 15,000 people at each of those games. And Auburn at home. I mean, there's opportunities there, but it's just tough. It's the SEC. They look like a competent team. I haven't seen a big pitching change criticism yet. Yeah. Still not buying them getting in the tournament. If they lose out, they will get in the tournament even if they lose out. They are as safe can be. Now, they could end up getting a seed that you don't want, but they're going to make the tournament. Creams are actually your least favorite? Oh, you're crazy. I love them. Jones has big league stuff. I think that Hooks is going to be a guy that could quickly ascend and become like a quote-unquote household name in college baseball. I love his approach and his stuff, man. He's, for a young pitcher, Kentucky put up 24 runs before the run rule kicked in tonight. I'm sure that was a joy to watch. Got opportunities. Mississippi State hasn't looked particularly great so far, for example. They have offensive issues. They can't hit the baseball. And that's not going to be, that's got to improve quickly because they can't score right now. Don't allow Dennis to pitch ever again. Remember, that was a weekend arm not too terribly long ago. Just for the record, I think every combo Ole Miss has is great. By the way, I think I have my favorite jersey. The basketball navy blues, I thought looked incredible, and I'm more of a powder guy, but I loved that look on Saturday. They don't wear that very often, but anyway. Sorry I was late tonight, guys. We just had chaos in the house, but I do have to run. I appreciate you guys being here as always. Probably not gonna go live after the game tomorrow, unless, look, if they pull an upset, then that changes things. So if they pull off a win tomorrow, we'll go live. If not, just expect us to go live on Thursday as we always do. So I'll see you guys then. I appreciate you very much, and I will talk to you maybe tomorrow, or definitely Thursday. See you then.